Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Midnight Festival podcast, a late-night talk show where some cute and cool boys talk about video games in great detail. I'm Jade, the first host of two hosts.
I'm Cole, the second of two hosts. Who am I again?
Yeah, Cole, I think. Yep, we're missing Kiowa again. You know, he still hasn't played Genshin Impact, so...
Oh yeah, he's a little late.
Yep. Anyway, we got another Genshin episode brewing. Hot off the presses. It's 1.2. It's patch 1.2.
Did we talk about 1.2 blues? Did we preface in 1.1? This was going to be 1.2 blues. We knew it ahead of time.
Yeah, it's 1.2 blues. Yeah, I mean, I just called it that. Preemptively assuming that it's gonna cause those feelings. We got
a prophecy.
Yeah, I mean, you could kind of go into Genshin assuming at this point where we are. Assuming I've been racking my brain for what sort of negative term to use for that rhymes with 3 for 1.3, and I haven't thought of anything yet. 1.3p. Yep. PEE. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. So 1.2, we got a new area.
Bam. New area.
We got new events.
Bam. New events.
We got new characters.
Bam. New characters.
It's a gacha feast, right? It's a gacha feast out here, right, Cole?
I guess for Genshin, maybe
you
could call it that. I don't know. I don't know if I'd call it a feast.
Yeah, maybe not. But for us Genshin, us Genshin players, any new stuff is good. Any new stuff is good.
It's weird. There's almost nothing to talk about for 1.2 from 1.1, but also there's a lot.
Yeah.
They just, most of the core issues that we've addressed in prior episodes just haven't really had anything done with them. And I don't want to be treading that same ground, so...
Yeah, it's gonna be sort of a mental exercise to sort of consciously try not to repeat what we've already said in the past, but it's
probably going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's unavoidable that it'll be brought up at some point. A lot of stuff, a lot of similar issues and things that haven't been fixed. And things that kind of have,
there's like new perspective on some of these issues that I've gotten just from playing more, playing longer, playing in the new content. So,
well, so let's begin with something interesting that kind of takes place a little bit before 1.2 dropped.
Okay.
We had the Zhongli debacle.
Yep. Okay.
I thought that it might be, it's important to bring up that MiHoYo has taken a sort of an interesting approach where, due, I think, to the character trailer specifically, I think a lot of people thought Zhongli was going to be some badass DPS guy. Just the way that they marketed him seemed like he was supposed to be some crazy, powerful damage dealing boy.
Yeah, I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I got a lot of updates on that forum of theirs when I was pointing out some of the weird flaws in their argument when they officially addressed. What'd they say? They said something along the lines of Zhongli is a support, so why is everyone complaining he's supposed to deal damage? That's not how we designed him, they said.
Yeah, that was the weird thing, because the way that they had rolled him out seemed like he was a damage dealer.
Mm-hmm.
But they've definitely taken more of a stance and doubled down on his support role with these new buffs that are supposed to be coming out that they're testing in right now. A lot of cool buffs. It finally feels like Zhongli is like a 5-star character. He felt like a 4-star character before, kind of like. Well, he still felt like a 5-star, but he didn't feel.
Compared to other 5-stars, it was like, yikes. Especially the limited ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it seems like these buffs that they're giving him are going to make a big difference, and hopefully he'll be a lot more easily integrated into a variety of teams, and he'll be useful.
Remind me what these buffs are. I remember some of them, but
okay. First effect, the shield. all opponents within a set radius have elemental resistance and physical resistance decreased by 20%.
Geo, that's just Geo elemental?
All
Resist?
elemental.
All element.
And physical.
Yeah, that's insane. That's fucking great.
That's going to be very handy. Like, it's not even such a big thing, too. It's kind of like I just feel like it'll be finally a reason to take Zhongli out, and use him and support, like finally having a good support character. I mean, I guess you have Venti, but we don't have Venti, so.
Yeah, Venti exists, but, that's such a good buff. I'm not like a big math person, but to my knowledge, to the best of my knowledge, this is a cut to enemy elemental resistance, which means it takes place at a different part of like an equation of dealing damage, meaning it's more substantial than if it was just a buff to like his own personal damage or lowering their defensive stat. This
Right.
is very potent and for sure is like a support ability, because it benefits probably the rest of your team and co-op teammates more than Zhongli himself.
Yeah, that's what's important, I think, too, is because Zhongli, in multiplayer, in co-op content, you can't switch characters around. So if you're stuck with a specific character, like, someone like Zhongli, you want to just switch him out, use his ability, and switch out to someone else. If you're using him now. But now I feel like it's a lot more substantial to have him out and to be playing with him with your co-op team. Like, before you wouldn't have any incentive to do that because he's kind of weak as hell.
Yeah.
But now it seems like a lot more viable to do that.
But when you say now,
Now,
but as of
as in-
1.2, it's not actually in the game.
It's in testing, yeah. It's
in testing.
It
So
could
hopefully
maybe not come out.
if all of these changes pass,
Yeah.
then they will be added to the game. 1.3, I'm assuming.
Yeah. And I believe that there's also something where his attacks scale with a certain percentage of his health now, if I remember right, his basic attacks, which will let him do a little bit more damage, because before he was he was comparative to Xiangling, DPS wise.
The only other polearm user.
And he's a fucking 5-star god. And he's hitting just like this little 14-year-old cook girl. Like, come on.
And he kicks his spear.
And he kicks his spear. You're telling me that someone who kicks their spear is doing as much damage as a little 12-year-old cook? As a little 8-year-old
A little
cook?
10-year-old cook girl?
But, yeah, it looks like there's, those changes mostly to his shield, too. I think it buffs the shield itself, has more damage absorption, stuff like that.
A lot of good changes. And
Yeah.
For anyone who was saying he was already pretty strong, this is going to tip him over the edge into... I mean, all of the 5 stars should probably be in that territory of, wow, that's good.
I want
Because that's
that.
what you're polling for. That's what you're paying for, right?
Yeah.
And there's no PvP, so who cares?
Yeah.
I approve. I don't have Zhongli, but more power to everybody who does.
I got Zhongli. I'm excited to test his new skills out with my buds.
And there's another change coming with that, just to Geo in general.
Oh, yeah. The Geo. Yeah.
Something in regards to shredding Geo resistance, which is it's an indirect buff to Zhongli, but that was part of the problem with him, is he's part of the Geo element, which, as any Genshin player knows, is probably the worst element for dealing damage in the game, in a DPS-centric game, just because its reactions don't cause any extra damage. So being able to reduce Geo resistance is just probably one of the only ways to actually make a character like Zhongli or Ningguang stronger.
Yeah. So, let's see. Geo elemental mechanics. When protected by a shield, this is the original effect, increases attack damage by 15%.
This is the resonance effect?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're improving all of these changes. This change to Geo damage is coming with the resonance, which means you need to have at least 2 Geo party members on your team, which is Uh, it's good though.
Yeah.
It's a
They
good
then
buff.
so then they buffed it though, which increases the shield strength by 15%, and characters who are protected by a shield still have that increased damage by 15%, and dealing damage to enemies will decrease their Geo Res by 20% for 15 seconds. So that's that shredding you were talking about.
Yeah.
So that's the buff, and then the Geo Shield that you get for the elemental reaction is buffed.
The crystallizes.
The crystallize, yeah, goes from having 250% Geo damage absorption. That's it. To having 150% physical damage and elemental damage absorption. So I mean, whatever shield you crystallize, obviously that effect would be the damage absorption, but now it's like just all damage, which is very cool.
Yeah, that's a lot more useful just in general. I mean, less. It doesn't sound as potent for counter picking like elemental reactions, but a way to mitigate physical damage, which is pretty all over the game. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll take it.
yeah,
But all of this again is under the Geo Resonance,
yeah.
so I don't know if I'll ever actually take advantage of it. There's how many we got? We got Albedo in 1.2. We'll get to.
Oh yeah, forgot about him.
Forgot about him.
I forgot about him. But yeah, otherwise it just seems like he's just generally stronger. Zhongli. To wrap up this buff talk, Zhongli and Geo, they're going to be better. They're going to be much more...
a good step in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
He still has the same constellation issues. They still duped everybody kind of with all of a form. I think we mentioned all of it before, with the trailer and the weapon and all that shit. He's still going to be a support, so you're going to have to build him pretty specifically to make him a DPS, and then he's probably not going to compare to some of the other members of the cast.
Right. And, just knowing that he's meant to be a support now, instead of it being in some weird gray area where it's like, build him, he's a jack of all trades, master of none. I'd rather he's more focused in his skills and everything. And I'm liking these buffs. I'm looking forward to building him out.
Inching towards progress, miHoYo, thank you.
Yeah, crawling towards progress.
Crawling like a baby Klee.
But yeah, I think that, in between patches, that's all the big sort of news that had happened, by the time we finished recording the previous episode and now. Or until 1.2 released.
Yeah.
So maybe let's get into 1.2.
1.2. Not as many changes in 1.2 as there were in 1.1, I think, just off in terms of quality of life, right?
Yeah.
I already forget what came with 1.1, but there was some good stuff.
Good stuff in 1.1. Like the artifact thing, wasn't that in 1.1 where that stuff just automatically gets added to your inventory?
Nope. Welcome to 1.2, baby.
That was 1.2? Okay, that's the biggest. 1.2 is the best update. 1.2 is the best patch.
Wow, you flipped. 1.1, I believe, added the expeditions. That was extremely good, so that you could play the same characters from your expeditions. Are you kidding? Kaching
I'm thinking we're calling this episode 1.2 cool. 1.2 rules. 1.2 rules.
Wow. Well, okay, yeah, artifacts, items from ley lines and domains and stuff, auto adding to your inventory. Yeah, that's pretty good. They should have had that from the start.
Yeah.
It's kind of disgusting. They had they do those funny infographics where they talk about, just random data that they've pulled from all the people playing the game, and there was some of people who would loot. They would claim their loot, spend their precious resin on domains, and then just forget to pick any of it up and walk out. Bye-bye. Bye-bye items. And I had a specific glitch, I remember, where I defeated a world boss and the items just vanished. They weren't there. I couldn't get them.
Yeah, that's inexcusable.
And it's fixed now, at least, thank God.
Yeah. But yeah, like, as far as different, 1.1 you got the condensed resin. Yeah, you got that expedition thing. There's all those like all the tools and stuff in 1.1 that they added. Like yeah,
Hmm.
they definitely added a lot more like quality of life things. But they added the artifacts thing this time, so
They
it's a little
added
better.
that. Now at the end of a domain, also you can press the button to just restart. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
to load out of it unless you're in co-op and you hit exit instinctively 90% of the time.
Yeah. Yep.
But otherwise, it's much easier to just farm the same domain.
Much easier. Yeah. What other? Did they add any other things? Like, is that it? Oh, they added
That's
like
like
little
the
friend
major
chat
stuff.
thing, little
Yeah,
chatty, little.
that's
That's cool.
more for mobile users, I suppose, is the messaging your friends chat. There's an annoying issue with that though, where it seems like every time you log in and are playing the game, the last message just sits there on your screen
Yeah, I always
and
think I
never
got a new
goes away.
message for some reason, but it's just like the message I sent Nep like 2 weeks ago. Every time. I'm like, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I manually went and deleted mine because it was taking up precious screen real estate to
Mm-hmm.
always be there. It's like a cyberpunk glitch, never going away.
It enhances the experience of being the
Yeah,
traveler.
it makes me feel welcome and like all of my friends haven't quit the game.
Yeah, it's like every time you log in, it's like cha-ching, Maury's online, you know, kind of thing.
That's a bit of a throwback. Yeah, that's okay. I guess is the co-op world thing is new, but I wouldn't call that a positive change.
Oh yeah, that I'm not digging that. I'm not digging that.
So what does that do? So,
It
okay.
makes me mad because I don't know. There's nothing. It doesn't seem any different to
Yeah,
me.
when you would okay, I think how do we even explain what it is? Like, okay, when someone would join you in 1.0 and 1.1, the game would have to load the first person when they would come in, and then it
Mm-hmm.
would also have to load when the last person left and you were on your own. And
Mm.
also when you were walking around, people could just like random people could request to join you if they just saw you in the co-op menu. And the only difference now is that when someone joins you, only a friend can request to the best of my knowledge, and then it puts you in co-op mode. Now is the only time randoms can request, and you
Mm-hmm.
won't automatically go into a loading screen when the last friend leaves. So people can leave and come back, in the case of like having to go and get condensed resin,
Mm-hmm.
it saves you a loading screen.
Nice.
But it also messes up quests now, like commissions and such.
Yeah, it sucks. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan that I have to like manually leave it too. Like it
Oh,
just turns
yeah.
it on and it's just on. Like when you're done with a session and you're like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go synthesize some items. And then you're like, huh? Oh, I can't talk to anyone. Oh yeah, it's because my co-op is on, I guess. And then
Yeah.
you gotta turn it
They
off and
fixed
load.
like a non-issue almost and then
Yeah,
just added all these other problems with it. Very
yeah,
strange.
it's very weird. Um, I guess that's nothing else. They didn't change the battle pass. Yeah, they didn't change anything. Nope.
Yeah, in terms of like interface and stuff like that, that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the
But
meat and potatoes.
got a whole new area, Dragonspine.
This is what
Dragonspine
I've been
Mountain.
waiting for.
Yeah, let's get into the Dragonspine. I'm kind of conflicted on it. I don't know. How about you?
It depends on how you look at it because the best part of Genshin, to me, without a doubt, is exploring.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
That
mm-hmm,
sense of like wonder, you don't know what's around the corner and you're gonna find something cool.
mm.
That oh my gosh, that washed over me when
Yeah.
I entered Dragonspine. I was like, ah, such a pretty area, and uh, you know, it's unfortunately smaller than something like Liyue and Mondstadt.
Mm-hmm.
It's more vertical though because it's a big snowy mountain, so
Yeah.
there's caves and stuff inside. So there's a lot to explore, but it's definitely less content
Mm-hmm.
than a new whole continent is likely to be. But I really really enjoyed. If we're just talking exploring the place and having a good time, 100% I was having a good time.
Yeah. That was. It's hard to understate. Like, oh yeah, this is why I liked the game so much. You know, like when I first
Mm-hmm.
was exploring Dragonspine, I just had this nice. It just felt so good. You know, we inhaled all of Mondstadt and Liyue back in the day. We went
Yep.
through just no life to the game. So this time I was going into it like, okay, I'm gonna pace this out. I want to explore this area. I want to just go at my own pace. You know, I want to just take my time, explore it slowly, and really drink it in. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But then they made an event that is tied directly in with your progress on the mountain. And they
A time
basically
limited event.
a time limited event where they basically force you to sort of speed run, not speed run, but tackle it at a pace I wouldn't have tackled it at.
Yeah.
It just seemed like they were spurring you forward and forcing you to rush the exploration and finish the area so you could finish the event. And it just seemed like counterintuitive to me.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
uh, I mean, this is once again. I'm like I went back to the 1.1 thing where I was like they should have put the big event at the end of the patch life, the second
Yeah.
half, and they should have done that here so you'd have time to acclimate to the mountain and like take your time and explore it at your own pace and just have fun for like the first 2 weeks and then be like, oh, guess what? There's an event on the mountain now. Now you can take it, do the event, and just have more. Have a new experience on the mountain after having explored it.
Isn't it strange to think that already the event is over? It was like 2 weeks long, so 2 or 3 weeks, and they said, "Hey, if you want to do any of this content, get this new weapon, experience the story of a couple new characters, earn all this stuff, participate in it. You have to do it now." And it's already gone.
It's
If
gone.
you start playing the game now or you just missed that, the introduction to the mountain is not there. It's
Yeah.
just it's popped into existence and you can go there and explore. It's just like it's just kind of empty. I don't understand why it was time limited, and it's also the only actual involved part of the game to introduce you to the mountain,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, that's really strange because it just felt, just like a story quest. It just felt like,
Like the
they're
main
just
story,
touring
like the
you.
yeah.
Yeah, touring you through the mountain and sort of introducing you to it. Yeah, I didn't think about that. New players are
Yeah.
it's just gonna be a new zone to explore. It'll just be like off the beaten path. Your quest from Mondstadt to Liyue isn't gonna take you through Dragonspine.
Yeah, it's cool that it's optional, I guess. There's no real need to go there. If you were to go there now, without the incentive of any quest, really the only things you'll find there are the new sort of kind of a reputation thing where they've added new Oculus items. The I think they're called Crimson Agate, something like that. But you find them in the same way that you did the Oculus, and you get a bunch of them. You turn them in groups of 10, and you can build up this tree, and then that unlocks a bi-weekly event that you can do and build it up more. But beyond that, I guess it's just a few side quests, right? What is there anything else to do there other than obviously explore it and just pick up the loot?
Yeah.
Like without the story event,
Nope.
there's nothing happening there.
Yeah, it's just that. It's just those weekly quest things, basically. Yeah, now they have some daily commissions take place there on the mountain too. They added
That's
some
true.
new
Yep.
commissions, but that's about it, really.
I wonder if a new player gets commissions to go up to the mountain.
Yeah.
I'm curious
Yeah.
about that. But, either way, I think it was a big, massive mistake to make that a time limited thing anyway. It kind of soiled the experience of exploring the mountain at your own pace, and now
Yeah.
all future players are just going to have a more shallow experience with it.
Right. Yeah, I can't understate that. It just felt like the first session or two I had exploring the mountain was so fun. And I was like, yes, this is great. And then it was like, oh, it's tied in with the event, and now it's like it felt like I had to just rush, and it just soiled the experience. It was very unfortunate. nothing like taking away a player's agency, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you have to explore this mountain now. If you want to, get all this good stuff, get this free sword, get all these prima gems, you just gotta explore it because they tell you to, not because you want to.
Yeah, it's I don't even have the words for it. Makes me upset because it seems so obvious to just not make it timed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I both also like and hate the just general mechanic of the zone
Yeah, yeah.
where you freeze over time. So it obviously is a snow ice area. You would probably want to bring fire.
Mm-hmm.
And so they incorporate that with the cold mechanic. I think it's called sheer cold.
Mm-hmm.
Strangely, lighting stuff on fire, or standing in like a Bennett ult that puts you on fire. You get that fire debuff on you. That doesn't
Yeah, it
actually
doesn't.
affect you. It doesn't warm you up.
Yeah, that's so weird. That's really strange to me that it doesn't even just temporarily take that the sheer cold off.
Yeah, you got to interact with the set heater mechanics that they've put around, or stand by a teleporter or something.
Yeah.
It's a good mechanic all around, though. The only frustrating thing is, it's almost further in service of the whole fire meta that the game has going on.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us just don't have fire characters, like good ones. I was lucky enough that I had someone usable at least, but without
Yeah.
that, oh boy.
Yeah, I had Shinyan at like level 60 or something. Not good enough.
In a
Not
level
not good
90
enough.
world.
Yeah, she was just my pillar lighter, and that was pretty much it. Yeah, I liked the cold mechanics too. They weren't too punishing. I feel like it felt like they were doling out little warmers or little pedestals to light like pretty regularly. Like it never felt like I was getting frozen frequently enough. But in battles it was really punishing. I liked that you had to like try and mop battles up as fast as possible before you freeze because you're starting to take damage over time from this cold too when it reaches the threshold. So it was like adding a whole new sort of like mechanic to combat. And I thought that's why it would have been cool if like you were to have a fire character where you could temporarily alleviate your sheer cold by using an ult or something like that from a fire character, but nothing like
Yeah.
that.
They kind of partitioned that sort of idea into those other redstones
Mm-hmm.
that you kind of mine,
Yeah.
and you pick them up. And I think that when you pick them up, you get a really short reprieve from building up any more sheer cold, and then the next thing you attack has like a fire explosion, and it goes
Yeah.
away.
I liked that, and I liked the boss fight. I thought that vine thing was
Oh,
was
the big
interesting.
ice flower. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that was
there were
that
cool
was
mechanics
looking
in
back,
that.
it was really cool. I liked that a lot. That's the
Yeah,
kind of stuff that this game should lean on and make more co-op.
that
Like what a
was
beautiful dance that was amongst all of
yeah.
us, huh?
I honestly think like that was the closest we've got to like a raid, where there's
Hmm.
actual mechanics that you have to follow, and
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I hope they do. I hope there's more combat like that. You know.
Oh, and you know what? It didn't take resin.
Yep, that's right. Didn't take resin. Yeah, that's another thing that they've been pushing. They've been making sure everyone knows is that all future events, um, that require you to do X amount of things won't cost resin. Like all of it will be free. Like I think that was the thing in the 1.1 event with the Fischl and Mona event. That stuff costed
Yeah.
resin. So that's not
Yeah, I
going to be a
think we
thing
had some
anymore
things to
for
say about that.
yeah, that's not going to be an event thing anymore. Everything is going to be free. So that's good. But, you know, I liked that fight a lot. It was a good culmination of all of the mechanics you've been learning throughout the mountain. But
Yeah, and picking up, getting to try out some co-op, getting people in there and on the fly, just trying to coordinate You know, because you're right. It was kind of like a raid fight. It did have mechanics,
A
and
very light
it felt
baby's
good.
first
Yeah,
raid, but
yeah. It felt good when we would finish the fight flawlessly, and we would see a really fast clear time.
dude, what was that guy's name? What was that one dude's name? Like Noodle or something?
Uh, you know, I've got some footage of us doing it with. We
Oh,
had that Gene,
yeah,
that Gene player that was with us.
the one good one.
Bless their soul. What a
I
good co-op partner.
I wish I knew what their name was so I could call them out and just say like, I wish that I would have added you to my friends list.
Shout outs to that Gene
Shout
player.
out, I
Thank
think
you.
it was Noodle or something like that. We'll put it in the description if we find it. I would love to. I want to put it in the description. This player was great, and we just steamrolled all the required fights for the event with this player. It was good.
That's what Genshin should be about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's what the combat portion of Genshin would be about. Because all of Genshin, what are you building towards? You know, you're either a collector, which I guess is part and parcel with being a whale, where you just pull on banners and collect stuff. But the whole point of building all your characters really only leads to one place, and that's the Abyss. And I
Yeah.
have to say, you know, I think I'm not alone. I hardly ever even think about the Abyss, right?
I don't know. I haven't done it. I'm still still
I
waiting
mean,
to
that
do it.
sounds kind of like you're agreeing with me.
No, but it's something that's on my mind. But I think it's because I haven't done it. Where I'm like,
It's
I gotta build a cool team someday for this Abyss.
This game has been out for like 3+ months at this point, and the one time I thought that I could finally take on the Abyss, I was dead wrong. You know, there's 12 floors of it, and I tried the first part of floor 9, and I think I finally had just gotten my first max level 90 character. And, you know, I did okay with that, but then you have a second team you have to build. Nuh-uh. Did not. That I got just punked by the guys in there, and that it gets harder,
Yeah.
you know? It almost feels unfair in some ways because of all of the other issues we've mentioned before. It just takes so long to build up characters. It takes so long between banners. You're not getting very many characters. It all culminates, you know, Abyss just isn't very appealing because it's 100% on you
Yeah.
to get everything there, and the game isn't very forgiving. But this co-op event, you only needed one worthwhile character and a bunch of people, and it didn't take resin. It was just good, clean fun.
Yeah. It seems, nice and open to because everybody's for sure got the one character that they've invested everything into. So it's cool to be able to apply that character to some new challenges for sure. I am consciously thinking about the Abyss, but I know once I eventually amass an amount of characters that I can use for 2 teams, I'll probably just do it once every 2 weeks or whatever and be done with it. It's I don't know, but
Yeah, that's another thing, is it's just a static thing that
Yeah.
doesn't really change except for that rotating buff.
Yeah, there's a modifier thing.
But
You
that's
get some.
that's almost like a way for them to sell you the new banner character because it's always tailored to their kit.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, you sound really genuine when you say
You get
that.
Prima Gems.
Yeah, you get
So
Primo Gems,
that's
but
cool.
yeah, that's 1.2 cool.
Yeah, but going back to the raid thing, I feel like that's almost. I think they're taking a step in the right direction with this cube boss thing, this cube event.
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
that's
this is
almost
another
akin.
cool one.
That's almost akin to raids too, in a way. Where there's
Kinda.
I mean, it's the same structure of the fights that you've done thousands of times, hundreds of times. The normal cube fights, but there's like the cool modifiers and stuff that make the combat harder and add more, more stuff to play against. And I think that's really cool. I think that's another good challenge for endgame, quote unquote endgame players to tackle.
Yeah, it's obviously a lot like contingency contract from Arknights, if you're familiar with that, you know. putting on those modifiers, trying to get a high score against the hardest version.
Hard.
Yeah, against the hardest version of the boss you can handle. I guess other than the fact that it's just against the same bosses we're used to with a twist or two. The only reason I don't like it, I guess. Okay, there's a few reasons that it's not ideal, but you're just kind of doing the same thing over and over, and that's it.
Yeah.
There aren't really mechanics. I guess is what I'm getting at.
There's no change between the two battles, the one that you can find in the world or these ones. Really, there's no the attacks are the same. Everything it's muscle memory at this point. We all know how the fight's gonna go, except they add a new attack. I think, like each of them have a new thing, right? Because I don't remember the animal
when I think
one.
about it, they do kind of have a couple of them have mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about them, I guess it's just that we fought them so many times it feels like they have no mechanics, but there's like one per cube.
There's like one new one, and that's it. And it is sort of a. It's not just DPS this guy down as fast as possible. It's like you have to, react in a certain way to prevent some big damage or something like that.
I feel like Electro is still just DPS it.
Electro is Electro, yeah. There's no, yeah.
So one of three of them is pretty much a non-boss.
Mm-hmm.
Just a DPS check. But the other two, that's more fair.
Yeah, I had a good time when we first tried to tackle the Geo Cube. When we were just trying to figure out like what the fuck was going on. It was pretty funny.
I still don't quite understand what's going on sometimes with that fight. Like I still don't know what those little circles on the ground are.
Mm-hmm.
The safe zones.
The safe
zones. Where the pillars originally are, and you destroy them, and it leaves that glyph. But I feel like it spawns shields for you, but I'm not entirely sure. There's no rundown of like what to expect in the fight. You just jump in.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but I mean the Geocube. I don't know about the Geocube.
That's the one that I'm the least satisfied with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't feel like we were well equipped for it.
Yeah, because you can kind of just bring whatever works for you, right? Like
yeah,
you can just bring whatever
against
is fun.
the lightning guy. I can use. She does good DPS against lightning cube.
Far from ideal, but you still have the option. But this the Geocube, just like it is in the regular overworld, being the worst of all of the world bosses by a long shot, in my opinion.
Yep.
Is pretty shitty to fight in this event too, because there's only a handful of characters that can help you deal with it, and if you haven't been leveling them, then you suck, I guess.
That's
like
us.
All of us.
We all suck. Yeah, it was. Did we eke out a 3K win, 3K points on that?
We didn't even bother.
What did we get?
We did, like 1.5 score.
Okay, yeah, just basic.
1.5K.
Yeah.
Because, you need the claymores and stuff.
Yeah, no claymore users. No, none for us.
None that are level
60. Yeah. But, I don't know. It was, I think overall the cube event, the hypostasis. Hypostasis?
Hypostasis? Symphony. I don't know.
Hypostasis Symphony.
Hippocube.
Hippocop.
Fun.
Yep. That event, I think, was a good step. Like, I hope that they add modifiers to other things. I really like that challenge. Just the concept.
Agree, yeah.
In Arknights,
Build
that's
your own
really
challenge.
fucking cool. Yeah, it's really cool. It's just a cool concept, like challenging yourself and trying to best your score. And I had fun doing it with my boys in co-op. So any co-op content like that, I still want co-op Abyss, man. Where the fuck is co-op Abyss at?
Yeah, the game is so lonely and desolate on your own because there's nothing to explore anymore. I don't know. And they're building co-op content, but they do it almost sparingly. The thing
and
that temporarily, yes. The thing that Arknights did very quickly, I think they learned, is that the contingency contract, and that's a solo thing in that game. It's all on your own. They realized how much people enjoyed that, and it gave them something to do other than run dailies all the time. So they made it come back really frequently, and then they allowed you to practice it even when the event wasn't running. You can keep enjoying this content if you like it. I think Genshin could probably learn from that.
Yeah, Genshin really needs some sort of a raid type thing. Something. There just has to be something that's a big challenge that can stick around and come back every once in a while. I don't know what they could do, but it's not. Hopefully, it's not like a world boss with a new coat of paint. I want like a unique boss that's just for this, where you don't have you don't know by heart all their moves and everything after months of playing. Someone new who's like a temporary thing will come back for like maybe like a world boss type thing. In MMOs, when there's those world bosses that spawn every once in a while, and it's like, oh shit, we have one day to kill this guy. Let's go. And we can, like do different. I don't know. I really hope that there's more incentive for multiplayer, because they've shown that they can do these more in-depth fights with more hands-on mechanics that aren't just attack and then like dodge out of the way of attacks. There's like more stuff that they can do.
Yeah, I think the child fight, when it's not broken, is pretty entertaining when compared to even just the 1.0 world bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Weekly bosses, I should say.
Yeah, I'm getting sick of the dragon, whatever his name is.
And the wolf.
The wolf is like, yeah, I'm getting sick of fighting the wolf, but I think the wolf fight is good. Like, it's a fun fight. But
yeah,
the dragon's
better,
just like
but
annoying
still,
as hell.
Like, think about how many times we've already fought all of those bosses.
You can't see, but I'm rolling my eyes. Really rolling my eyes right now. Just thinking about all the times we fought them.
Mm-hmm. And they cost so much resin still.
Resin, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if you knew about resin.
Yeah. Then, wrapping up the event talk, there's a treasure event.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot about that.
I think there is something good about it. And it's that you get a little cosmetic guy.
Yeah, that was super exciting.
I think that bodes well for the future of things that I want to see in the game. Is the event itself, you go to like a little area once a day, they designate a different area every day, and then you go and walk around and you look for little shiny spots.
You play like hot and cold with your little Sealy to dig shit up, and then you're constantly interrupted by fights, and you can't.
Yeah.
You got to kill all the guys to move on.
It's about as memorable as. Do you guys remember the food event? Carrying that food around, food delivery event.
Oh my god, I remember that event for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling about this treasure one. It felt like a waste. I did it because it was easy, but I just didn't have any fun. I didn't have any fun doing it.
It was soul sucking, and yet the reward, the cosmetic pet, was like, gotta do it. Yeah, gotta do it.
It's cool. I hope there's more stuff like that. I really hope there's more. I'm glad they're adding more variety of gliders. Like minimum, at least they're putting gliders in, like different. I wish there were more cosmetics. I wish there were costumes, or like even fucking color swaps or anything, like color palette changes.
That could come with the delusions,
Yeah.
If they add palette swap versions of characters with delusions in the future.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool. I don't know. I'm just hoping they have more cosmetic options.
I agree. Yeah, that's like the lifeblood of MMO and gacha. I mean, Arknights, and in some games it's totally new units, which the delusions themselves, if that's a thing in the future, that could be in this game.
I bet it's going to be all new units.
I would assume new units
as well. Shadow version.
Fire Ganyu is just amber.
Yeah. It really would be literally better amber, huh? Because Ganyu is the same. Her kid is amber, but better. And ice.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I know everyone was like, oh, haha, ice amber, funny meme. But yeah, I guess it is.
She really is strong and tenfold.
Well, let's talk about the banners then, the new characters. Shall we?
Albedo. And then, next banner.
Okay, so first banner, Albedo. Dumb boy Who gives a shit? No, he it was really funny and kind of demoralizing for me
Oh yeah, yeah.
playing Albedo's test run because he felt so strong. For one thing, they marketed him as a support. In his character trailer, he's
Yep.
supporting. He's got a little pillar that moves around to get people, to be able to use plunging attacks or, a little platform. And he's got Klee featured in his thing. He's like, yeah, I'm a support character. And then I played as him in that test run. He's so strong. He was really strong in that test run. He
Yeah,
was
he was
doing lots of
wiping the
damage.
floor with all those, just tons of AoE Geo
Yeah.
burst damage.
Just bursting shit. And then I was like, I looked over at Zhongli, and then I like looked away so that shadow was falling over my eyes and you couldn't see my eyes. And then one tear rolled down my cheek, and I was so bummed out. It just seemed really weird that it just seemed like a slap in the face, like with a wet bag.
Two male Geo support character 5 stars in a row.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard not to see that.
And then one is strong and the other is weak, and they have to buff him.
Yep.
Yeah, it just felt sneaky. It felt kind of mean. But I can't speak on how he is in the current game because no one got him. No one wanted to pull. No one wanted to waste pulls on Albedo.
Yeah, I can say that, looking around online, generally what I saw is that he's a good, well-rounded, balanced 5 star, He's what Zhongli should have aspired to be and then some. But, yeah, people aren't really writing home about him because, again, it was just the second male Geo 5 star in a row. So I think people didn't really care too much.
Everyone's saving for what's coming up.
Ganyu.
Ganyu. Finally some good fucking food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was saving for Ganyu for a long time, and I know that's no secret.
Yeah. Like, finally putting these Primo Gems after months of play, putting them up to the plate to try and get Ganyu, and it was rewarding. It was good. It felt like, I wasted a bunch of Primo Gems to try to get Zhongli, and it fell flat, and I felt kind of sad that I even wasted my time and my gems. But with Ganyu, she's fucking good. Can you believe it? They made a good character.
Yeah, they made a very good character.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's a lot to be said about banners that I want to get into after that. I kind of felt, because with Ganyu, instantly, other than ignoring the fact that she seems very powerful to pretty much everybody, it's just refreshing personally to pull and get something to work on and feel invested again. Right?
Yep. I guess I want to talk about that very briefly too, before we start gushing about Ganyu.
Yeah, I mean, by all means, I think you know that feeling even better than I.
It was similar to the dry spell after 1.0 came out and we were waiting for 1.1, where my incentive was just so low where I'd just log in to do commissions and I wouldn't even spend my resin. I didn't spend my resin for probably like a week, just barely playing. And there's so many reasons for it. There's so many factors.
Yeah.
And the biggest one is the cost of building a character.
Yeah, and we've been over that. Like everybody who plays the game knows.
Everybody knows. The cost is insurmountable. If you start grinding stuff, like I guess I'd do experience books whenever I felt like I wanted to play a little bit extra. Just not having anybody that I wanted to actually work on because I didn't know if it would be worth it or if I could integrate them well in my current team.
Especially after being burned on Zhongli so recently.
Yep. So I didn't play too much. I would just do my commissions and I wasn't really spending my resin or anything. It was a big dry spell on 1.1 at the tail end, I guess, and leading into 1.2 after the Albedo event. I just kind of was not really too keen on really playing and spending resin for anything. But yeah, that feeling once you get a character that you just know it's like you're like, ooh, this looks like a fun, a new character to play as, and then it's that spark is lit in you, and all of a sudden you have like a reason to play, and you're like, I want to play and get this character strong and get all these materials to level her up.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the process of getting there is so annoying, but it did feel good. I feel like I more recently had a different character that I could work on, and it's all to get a break from the same team that we've been running since the start now. Like, we don't need anything to take on any content in the game anymore,
Yeah.
except the Abyss. That's the only thing. So any additional stuff we're getting right now is just kind of for our own sake.
Yeah.
It's kind of draining to just play the same characters over and over. And I at least had built some other people that I didn't get burned on, but it's still very nice when that comes around every so often.
Totally. And yeah, Ganyu is a saving grace, because like if I had if I had a penny for every Kuching charge attack that I've used, I'd be a fucking millionaire right now. I'd have billions of dollars. Yeah, it's just really cool to be able to, have a different character to do some DPS for once. And it just feels so nice, because now I'm thinking like I want to build a team more around Ganyu too. Mm-hmm. So there's even more. It's a what's the word?
A rolling stone gathers the moss.
Yeah, there's another word I was thinking of, but it's a thing where you do one. It's like dominoes. I don't know. It's like dominoes where you want to go and you keep doing stuff.
Very eloquently put. Yeah. I guess
Ganyu. Let's talk about Ganyu. Holy shit.
Yeah. Okay. For me, it's hard to describe just how perfect Ganyu looked from the outset, because I think I complained in 1.1 cast about how irritating it was to fight specifically the Electro Fatui, because you need an ice character, and all I had was Kaya and Diona, and I hate both of them. I hate their guts. I'm only willing to put up with one character that I hate, and that's Bennett. Nobody else.
Yeah.
So Ganyu, everyone says, is an archer. I don't have an archer that I use. She's ice, and she's cute as all hell. I was in. She's got horns. That's a plus for me.
That's a plus for me.
But only a minor plus.
Big
ups. Big ups from Jade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to get her regardless, and then she came out and is just insanely strong. Mm-hmm. That. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, design-wise, I think she's one of the best.
One of the best.
One of the best designs. That's all I'm gonna. I'm sweating. No, it's interesting. I think we were talking about it off podcast at one point, where like her kit and everything, her being a cryo archer and everything working in tandem. Like if you put an archer with her same kit but like a different element, it wouldn't work as well. Like she seems like lightning in a bottle. The way that her crits work with all these different, like with melt and with freeze, like you can just stack crit damage on her and reliably have a good crit rate with that freeze build. That's like, holy shit. Yeah, because
they introduced the new artifact sets with 1.2 for Hydro and Cryo, and it's tailor-made for Ganyu, it would seem. Well, okay, it probably works pretty well on others, but for Ganyu, I'm going to give that a second chef's kiss.
Yes. Yeah, it's really cool. She's like a one-of-a-kind. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems perfect.
And it's a wholly different play style than other characters in the game so far for me. I guess I haven't played too much, but Keqing is... There's a lot of melee characters in the game, and I know Keqing is really dynamic in how you position, but once you get to the charge attack spam, it's rinse and repeat. And then casters feel about the same, but an archer, especially Ganyu...
Yeah, she's way good. Like, if I had a penny for every single sword user I have, I'd be a fucking millionaire too. So it's like such a breath of fresh air to play someone who's it's kind of skill. It's a lot of skill compared to just mashing your charge attack, because you have to actually aim manually at weak spots, and you have to be a little more wary of your positioning and dodging around. And her cool skill, like does that cool backstep thing that provides more space away from an enemy, and it
Oh,
also
it's such
attracts
a good
them.
animation too.
Yeah, all of her animations are cool. It's such a shame that you never use her basic attacks because her attack string looks so fucking sick.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. It her whole having to like overcharge her charge shot to level 2 because it takes so long to do it. It's really risk reward, and you have to aim it. It makes
Yeah,
a lot of sense to me to give her huge damage numbers with relative uh, low investment because you have the cost of these other factors that other characters usually don't worry about because if you throw out a charge attack with Kaching, like you're pretty much always going to hit unless you just straight up were on the wrong side of the whole planet swinging
yeah.
your sword.
It's snapping. Your attacks auto
Yeah,
aim like
and of
you.
course you have that soft lock to deal with all the time too. You almost can't miss. You have to be
Yeah,
trying.
you have to try hard to miss. And with Ganyu, it's you don't have to try hard to miss. You have to try hard not to miss. It's
Yeah.
like it's cool. Yeah, the risk reward of charge spending the time to charge up an arrow and then missing, and you're like, fuck, that was a
Oh,
waste.
yeah, that is demoralizing.
Yeah, it's I really like playing her because of that stuff. It just I feel a lot more tuned into the combat and what's going on.
What I would really like, uh, besides just the character team building we have now, besides just an easier way to get to facilitate team building, is uh, it never seems like there's any room to have more than like one character dealing damage and then a
Hmm.
bunch of people just supporting them.
Yeah,
Or at least the characters that I've been building, you know, it's fun for me to switch off of Kaching and throw out some attacks as Ningguang,
yeah,
but there's almost never actually a point to doing that. I just do it because it feels fun.
yeah. There's no meta that rewards that. It seems it's all just like based around building up one single character for your damage. And that's kind of a
Yeah,
shame. There should be more synergy other than just the elemental reactions. I wish there was a little more in that
yeah.
aspect.
There's characters I'd love to find a use for. And I guess maybe that's just this game. That's this game's double-edged sword, is
Hmm.
they built it around these reactions so that you can swap to and play all these different characters, but that means that some characters are just left in the dust to only take up a second of screen time every so often, like Zhongli.
Like Zhongli, and he's got such a great design. It's such a shame.
Hmm.
He's a handsome man, and you only see him for a second when he drops his big old ball down. He puts his
Yeah,
shield out.
I'll admit I don't really know what else they could have done other than just design a wholly different game, but you know, I lament it.
Maybe it could be like Dragon Quest, and your party's always falling behind you. Then you just see
Oh,
him.
wow. Okay, wow. That's a really good idea. It's like Pokemon where you have a little Pokemon following you and it's not Paimon, it's Zhongli. It's
Yeah,
Klee. Little
it's
tiny
Klee
Klee following you.
running around. And then, for battles, I mean, they wouldn't just follow you. Maybe they'd have some like basic AI to just run around the fringe of the battle, and then, you swap to them, and, you obviously swap to where you're standing. That could work. They just stand there, and they have like a battle stance, and they're like, whoa, crazy battle. Whoa. And they don't get hit. They can't get hurt.
A person can dream.
Yeah.
I don't ever
And
see that
it'll never
happening, but
happen.
it would be it'd just be nice to give some of these characters another way to shine.
Hmm.
And I don't think the only real way to do that is to go into co-op and specifically designate yourself as the support character.
Zhongli.
Zhongli. Yeah.
That'll be
And I don't
me.
know. Is that satisfying to you?
We'll see.
You didn't get enough of a taste in the cube event, huh?
I did have a fun time trying to destroy the pillars, I guess, as you guys were killing. It was okay.
It's like for me and playing an MMO, they got the Holy Trinity, the DPS, the tank, the healer. And for me, I've always been a DPS or nothing. I don't get any satisfaction out of doing a support role.
Mm.
So, I don't know if I would really. It applies that way in Genshin too.
Yeah.
Whenever I play, like dumbass Bennett, and we're all doing a co-op together, and I know I'm just there to generate energy and spam my ult. I'm not actually contributing damage.
Mm.
That, I'm doing something, but for me it's not as satisfying as seeing big ass numbers.
Oh yeah, definitely not. I agree there. When are they gonna add like an aggro thing? When are they gonna have tank characters? You think they'll ever do that? Wouldn't that be
If
cool?
they did that, Zhongli would become busted.
Busted ass. Hell yeah.
He would tank. That would be interesting, I guess. Sometimes especially in this cube event, there would be attacks flying my way and I wouldn't even be able to see them. I don't think that, I would love to see more co-op stuff, but even it seems like the AI of these enemies in the game just can't even handle it. The netcode or something is
Yeah.
lacking, because
Yeah.
these guys freak out all the time. They get stuck in loops, or they just sit there and do nothing.
Yep. Child's been doing. Yeah, that's really weird. Something weird's going on with those
Yeah.
boss fights.
Yeah, I don't know if a tank is in the cards just yet, but I know I would have preferred to have a tank when invisible attacks were hitting me and killing me in one hit.
Mm-hmm.
Only a little earlier.
Man can dream.
Yeah. Final note on Ganyu before we wrap her up. She's got constellations.
Mm.
Now, again, can't comment on Albedo. Really don't know anything about the guy. But Ganyu, I remember, was looking a little scary. Because she seemed to be following that trend, which I think at this point most people agree. In terms of 5 stars, the only ones who really abuse constellations in a really harsh way are Zhongli and kind of Child.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people have said that Ganyu is bad, but I don't. I think her constellations are closer towards okay, but I still don't. I'm starting to really dislike all constellations in general.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish they would just do away with it, and it's too much.
Yeah, having 6 of them, limited character, like it's just there's no way that people like you or I are gonna get that. No way.
Yeah.
It's like window shopping. You're like, ooh, that would be nice. Wow, but we're never gonna get it ever, and it's just salt in the wound of not getting a character in the first place, and then you just know there's a whole nother level to it.
Yeah. I guess for Zhongli, he's got that heal shield that makes him just seem insanely more powerful, much more suited to his role than ever before. And for Child, it opens up so many possibilities. And I guess ultimately for me, it probably comes down to, do any of the constellations make the character like more fun? Because I guess sometime all of them are going to be numbers, and some of them are going to affect stuff in a wide variety of ways. But for Ganyu, I think a lot of hers are just numbers, and her final constellation for having 7 of them is like a free arrow, a free instantly charged arrow, once every so often.
Yeah.
Based on some stuff. That sounds like it would make her a tiny bit more fun. It's like more of a rotation with her kit. Mm-hmm. Once you have reached that point, you have more options. And I don't feel like she's lacking at all to be missing that at 0 constellation.
Yeah.
But it still feels a little... Yeah, it's salt in the wound to know that some people are having a slightly more entertaining character to play.
Yeah.
Just because they have more money.
I'm glad that it's not following the trend, though, of it seeming to be like something is cut out of her kit and then pasted as a constellation, like something that you should have from the get-go. Like, it's good that it's just extra enhancements, but it does suck that we are playing an inferior Ganyu. Not only just numbers-wise, but like skill-wise. Or her skills. Not our skill. We're fucking.
And hers are really minor. Mm-hmm. But it's still, it's always gonna haunt me. Why take more fun away?
Yeah.
Just Just give us all those. Just give them the potential system. I'll never be able to get over how good Arknights does the potential. I never have felt like I need dupes in that game, but they're still very welcome and handy.
Well, it's very unfortunate, but we'll have to see with Zhao as well. He's coming up next soon,
Oh no.
and I'm kind of curious about how his constellations are gonna go.
Yeah. I don't. Does anyone know?
I'm sure it's leaked. I've seen his enhancement materials or his ascension materials, so I'm sure his constellations have leaked somewhere. But
Yeah.
don't believe it until you see it in the game.
Well, once Zhao comes out, you're going to be having a lot of fun farming those ascension materials.
Yeah, the Xing Yin flowers or Xing Yin Kui. I don't even know those flowers, the white flowers. Qingshin flowers. Yep, those are fun.
Not only that, but all of the little rocks for the bosses, and maybe they'll make you go hunt down 100 elite enemies around the world.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fun, huh?
Yeah, it's cool. We starting at 1.0 and we were like wishing there were more things to do, and we were going around killing bosses and stuff. Those supplies are running dry. And it's gonna be interesting having to go farm for that stuff again.
Yeah, it's especially those jewels, those rocks, those shards, those crystals, whatever the hell they are that drop from the elemental world bosses.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't scale the same as the other item that the bosses drop. You need to...
Yeah.
You have like a huge overflow of the elemental material, and then you need to run it another 20, 30 times to get enough of the rocks to finish grinding out a character. And the book, the Adventurers book, says you can get the drops for the highest rarity gem, but you never get them.
Yeah. I don't think... Oh, I did once. I got one once.
I've gotten one in all my playtime, yeah.
Yeah. I think it was from the dragon. Don't remember what it was. How many of those middle shards does it take to make the crystal? Like the full crystal?
So, if we assume that the bottom tier, the tier 1 jewel, is like worth 1, it goes up. You need 3 of each tier to get to the next one.
Okay.
So, you need 3 to get to the blue, and then you need 3 blue to get to purple, etc.
Oh, yeah, okay. Man.
So, it really is... I end up with 40 or 50 excess of the item from the boss that drop in 2s or 3s because I had to run the boss that many more times to get enough of the little rocks.
Yeah.
And where do those go? There's nothing to do with them. It's not...
Just the other boss drops, you mean?
Just the other boss drop. For the ice one, for Ganyu, it's the Hoarfrost core.
Yep.
It's specific. That's the only place to get it is that boss. And you can get the little rocks from other sources.
Mm-hmm.
But in teeny, tiny, pea-sized amounts.
Yeah, you get like 2 or 3 pebbles from doing all 4 commissions, I think.
I think various... you only get like 1.
Is it 1? I thought it was like 2 or 3. Not that 2 or 3 is any more substantial, but it's also randomized too. I think
I have it written down here. It takes 271 tier 1 rocks to get enough for a level 90. Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And you only get about like 8. If we value the smallest tier as 1 per rock, you get about 8 per run.
Mm-hmm.
And these are 40 resin.
Yeah, ascension materials are becoming the most egregious thing. And I really hate Whopper flower stuff. I hate fighting Whopper flowers. I hate the nectars. Like all the...
Yeah, it's enough to run around the world killing just stray enemies, but Whopper flowers are just an annoyance to fight.
Yeah, they flop around. They flop all around.
They whop and they flop around.
And they don't offer anything to me except for their stupid nectar. And it takes, all... Like, Ganyu needs the nectar for ascension, and then everybody, it feels like so many characters use the nectar for talents, too.
We just happened to go that route, yeah. I've made 3 characters now that specifically use that.
Yeah, I looked at Zhongli, and he uses the slime, so that's good.
Finally a use for slime.
Finally a use for slime. But yeah, the nectar seems to be in the highest demand, and I just wish that there were some commissions or something to do daily to fight them, an excuse to fight them, a place they'll always be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I guess they spawn in the same
They
areas,
give
but
you plenty of opportunities to kill them where they don't even drop anything.
yeah, and like there's so many commissions to fight, like those scoundrels.
And the hilly churls, the meta churls.
Yeah, you fight so many of the hilly churls. You get so many of those masks. You get so many of the coins from the treasure hoarders. You like they those things are all in commissions, and you just fight those same guys every single day.
Yep.
But things like the Whopper Flower or the Fatui, you rarely fight them too. There are some Fatui ones in Dragonspine, but there it is. Yeah, Dragonspine. There's some Fatui dailies. Yeah, but there's no Whopper Flowers. Where's those at?
It's becoming more than just resin. That's a massive annoyance
Yeah,
to get ascension because now it's just an abundance of time gathering shit. And you need so much of it. Just 80 to 90 alone takes so much. It's exhausting.
yeah. Now that we are at the point where we're at, and our coffers are running empty, it's kind of rearing its ugly head in just how much time it's going to take to build more characters.
And, the new domain is out, the new character that can take advantage of it. Running this new domain for artifacts that we've never had the opportunity to gather before because they're brand new. And, now the artifact grind, the only real grind that this game really needs tied behind resin. And that is demoralizing too because you can go days upon days upon days getting nothing but just garbage, wasting your time almost.
Yeah, I'd be fine if artifact grind was the only grind.
Yeah.
Like it seems. Yeah, there's so much. There's so much all stacked up with artifacts on the very top, where it's just like for these character ascension materials, like those flowers, those come back every like 2 or 3 days. Like, and I think there's only like they're super precariously placed. They're just placed on the tops of mountains, so it's not easy to go get them.
Yeah,
and like
in one or two, rarely a bundle of three close by.
Yeah, it's the same as the violet grass, except violet grass is, I'd say, a little more annoying to collect.
I think violet grass is a lot more annoying, but
the fact remains is that there's only like, I think there's like 50 or 60 of them in the world at a time.
In the whole world, yeah. And that's enough for just the final ascension only.
Yeah, the final ascension, I think, is
every
60.
single one of them.
Yeah. And then there goes your reserves.
And there goes also all your free time in your whole real life.
Hopefully you didn't spend them all to ascend up to 80 and have to collect them all for multiple days like I did. But it's just like, it's weird. Like that stuff is really egregious and it needs to be toned down quite a bit.
Yeah, I hate beating a dead horse, but holy shit. Like the one thing to do in the game is build your characters, and they made it the most annoying, painstaking process of all time.
Like artifacts is whatever. I'm prepared to farm those out. I'm fine with it. I think it's a worthy.
Plenty of games have artifact grinding essentially, and that's all they need.
Yep. But here we are with all this other shit.
Really wish I could use my other characters without dedicating a month of my life just grinding.
Yeah, that's why I never upgraded Chi-Chi, because she needed violet grass flowers. That's why, I'm stuck at Zhongli. It's like, there's a lot to be collecting.
Yeah, I was grinding for Ganyu materials ahead of time, knowing she was coming out.
Yeah.
And then I still had to grind out the boss for like 3 or 4 more days afterwards. And go pick flowers for multiple days. That's the total amount of just shit you have to do, again, to make someone usable.
Make someone usable at a world level, yeah.
And that's going to get harder, too. Our worlds are going to keep ascending. Much slower rate now, but there's more to come.
There's more. I'm scared for it.
I am, too.
But, any other... What else with 1.2?
Well, in terms of 1.2... I don't think that there's too much else. Honestly, Dragonspine, we went over it really quick. It was a big area, but I mean, honestly, they made us play through the whole thing quick, so.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of we gave it the same treatment it gave us. I mean,
Yep.
the feeling of initial exploration was it matched like when the game first came out, and it was great. It was so fun, but then it was quick. The rug was swept out.
Yep.
The rug was swept from under our feet.
Another dead, empty area now that the game will give you the very rare daily to go and return to, and remember it exists.
Yeah, it really. It's a shame, man.
They could really change this game to do so many other things, and this is what they're going with.
Yeah, it sucks. Dragonspine was cool. Dragonspine was really cool, but yeah, it's just another empty area. I don't know. It was a good update initially. I just wish they would have fucking moved the event to the second half of it. That's all. That would have really made it feel just much better to me.
Put some more time between the Geo characters as well.
Mm-hmm.
Although Ganyu would have been not very useful on the mountain. I think that would have been a small price to pay compared to what we ended up having to deal with.
I mean, I gotta say, like, this Dragonspine, this mountain that they added gives me, it like renewed my, desire to play. And I am looking forward to when they add more continents or more areas. Like, I feel that's where the magic of the game is. And
This is what
makes me want
Genshin
to keep
should
playing.
be.
Yeah.
There are a few strengths, and they just are choosing to keep making it the regular gacha boring grind fest instead of doing what they've shown us they can do.
Yeah. Like the raid type bosses, this co-op stuff, like the end game challenges. Like, there's so many cool things that they could focus on. But instead it's just money. Gotta make that money. It makes me sad. It's a bummer. But I mean, like I said, we've said it before. How many times? How long are we going to stick with this game? And I'm definitely giving it until Inazuma.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird because part of me fucking hates playing this game and part of me really likes it.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun just playing the game, but when they make it the gacha, the game, that's when I'm like, ZZZ, sleepy snore.
I hope they find their footing here, and I don't think they will, just because their footing that they found right now has made them so many billions of dollars. No.
Precarious situation.
It's very solid. Oh, yeah, okay. Yes. That we're in. Yeah. MiHoYo's on very solid footing. MiHoYo's on gold block footing.
I have also heard rumors that they are releasing a resin pass very soon, possibly in 1.3. Yes. Another $5 pass that will give you less resin over the course of a month than you could buy with the Welkin. So it just seems like more whale bait, provided it's true.
That's fucked. Oh, and something that has been confirmed is that they're adding, this is cool, I think, they're adding fragile resins into the Battle Pass. And it's on the free Battle Pass, too.
Oh, okay.
So
do we not have those on the free pass already?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
There's no fragile resins on the Battle Pass at all. But they're adding those into the Battle Pass. I think it's like lower or a higher level stuff, though, so you still have to grind out for meager rewards. But it's just, it's good to have another source of those.
And, they've been making more, with the events and the areas and such, the Battle Pass has become easier and easier to actually complete.
Yeah, that's good.
Compared to 1.0, it was actually really annoying. So it's kind of a mindless thing you can just do while you're doing your other shit, I guess.
Yeah, that's the cool thing, is because I've been consciously playing like half-assed. Like I said, I hadn't been spending my resins every day. I like barely was doing some of the weekly quests. Like, I wouldn't grind it out purposely or anything. And I'm almost there. I'm at like 45 right now. And there's still, weeks to go. So it's like it gives me a little, like, I have a little more hope for grinding that out in the future, where it's, it's good. It's good that they've stabilized the Battle Pass a little bit, but still cost $10 for the same fucking rewards as the last 2 months.
They're really emphasizing the speed of their crawl towards a really good game.
Please make a good game, MiHoYo. Make it a good one. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll stick around for until Inazuma, I guess. I don't know if that's going to be coming. That's probably not coming in 1.3, but maybe in
They have not
1.4.
said anything about it for 1.3, and that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's not too far off. And I would have assumed that they would. I think 1.3 is the Lantern Festival, is what they've said it is, which sounds. I don't know what that's supposed to really tell us, but that's all I've heard about it. And I would assume a new area would be a big deal. They would announce that
Yeah,
way ahead of time.
they would have been showing it off just like Dragonspine
Yeah.
ahead of time with promotional videos and stuff.
Yeah, I would expect, no sooner than March for any whispers of Inazuma.
Yeah, so we're stuck playing the shit for a little longer.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But now that I'm looking at Ganyu, I see her on my screen. She's falling asleep. She's got sleepy. She's all sleepy. I'm thinking maybe that's not going to be so bad.
Maybe. I have one thing that I'd like to bring up about this game. It's become more noticeable to me, probably just because the Ganyu banner was the first time I had pulled in well over a month.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be considered a core problem with this game, among all of its many problems. So, as we know, Genshin has these limited banners. That's what every banner. They have a permanent banner, but it operates on the other currency
Mm-hmm.
that you can earn. Most people are going to pull on the limited banners for these characters, and they last just under a month, right? And how long do each limited?
Oh, each banner takes,
it's
I
like
think it's only like 2 or 3 weeks, isn't it?
20. Yeah, I think 21 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, under a month, but like 21 days around that for each limited banner, and then they change it to the next limited banner, and each one of these has one limited character that then will go away for who knows how long.
Yeah.
3 4-star characters on it. Then there's a weapon banner that's for whales, so nobody cares about it. So the only thing we care about is this limited banner.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest problem with it, besides the fact that these characters are limited for no reason other than for them to make money, I guess, is that they rotate so slow.
Mm.
Because you are guaranteed. There's this issue we keep running into where you either just want the 5-star or you just want the 4 stars.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's always. That's how it's been for me, at least. It seems like every banner I don't want the limited character. It has the 4-star characters I want, and it's arguable that they are more core to building up like good teams and getting access to more stuff. And
Right.
we had that in 1.0 when we hadn't pulled. We didn't have any characters.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to save up. You have to save up for these limited characters. That should be your focus, because they're going to go away forever. Well, not forever, for a long time.
Right.
They should have more than one banner going at once, I think, or rotate these things faster. Bring these reruns in. And have like rerun banners going at the same time as these new limited banners.
Yeah.
Give players more opportunity, because you have, for instance, you have the child banner come out, and you don't want child, and you're close to pity, and gems are limited.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? You sit on your ass for almost a month and do nothing. What happens if the next banner isn't interesting to you? Same thing. It's such a long time between, and look how refreshing it is to get a new character.
Yeah.
And that could be a 4-star, but it's just set up in this ridiculous way that almost it disincentivizes pulling for a lot of reasons, and I find that just infuriating.
Yeah. That's really strange. Like, I was always wondering why every banner is a limited banner. Like, why aren't these people added into the standard banner? Why aren't... I could understand some of them, maybe, within the context of the lore or whatever. But, like, Klee? Why the fuck is she limited? Like, why... I don't feel like Child shouldn't be limited, too. They should be added into the 5-star pool in the standard banner, just to be able to get them whenever you want. But
it doesn't seem to be a good reason besides the greed of the developer.
because right now we only have five-star characters we can get. Like for free from, or not for free, but from the standard banner. I'm pretty sure there's only five.
Unsure off the top of my head, but that sounds around the correct number.
And there's six so far limited characters that you could only get for a limited time. And so those characters are just gone. And there's no way to get them. It just seems really weird.
And they've only added 2 new 4 stars, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
And those went into the permanent banner, but only 2 4 stars. So, options for making new teams that can do brand new things has almost strictly been centered around these limited time 5 stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a really weird way. And this is I think the only game that I've ever seen, when they remove their 5-star, the limited banner, they take a day with no banner.
Yeah.
I wonder how much money they lose just not having a banner up for a day.
Yeah, I remember making a wager almost. I thought there's no way they would go a minute without having a banner up, and they made me look like a fool.
Yep.
Because they do it between every banner. Well, every patch at least.
Yeah, the elation of getting a new character that you actually want and that you can imagine a position on your team for.
It's so rare. It comes so rarely that I don't even know. It seems like a waste of time. You can't plan ahead to get any of these 5 stars.
Yeah.
We're working on leaks that they're trying to shut down anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing, is any sort of planning ahead that we are doing to save these limited Prima Gems is kind of operating on hoping that someone's going to leak some information that it's hard to tell. It's weird working off those assumptions. Like, I don't think they've even announced Hu Tao.
Yeah, I believe that's leaked.
That's a
information
leak.
only.
And she's allegedly supposed to be coming out. God, I'm scared saying this stuff on here because it's going to be like the next day. It'll be like, Hu Tao is not coming out. And then I'll look like a fucking moron, just like the 1.0 global release episode.
Yeah.
Apparently she's coming out as a limited character with Xiao. Those two are the 2 limited characters for the next patch, but maybe it won't be that way just because.
And how many 4 stars will we get? How many new 4 stars? Probably nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And what if you're not interested in these characters? Well, sit back and wait for a month and a half.
Yep.
And what if you don't like those characters? Well, then you're going to be waiting another month and a half.
Yeah.
It's so slow.
It is very slow.
And, the pity that they give, there's just no point. Mm-hmm. It's really annoying. Again, I'm going to always use my golden child, Arc Knights. Every single banner, they come out so frequently, like every other week there's at least one new banner, and then there's multiple going at the same time, and you get a reward within 10 pulls, and then you can just stop. You get something every single banner, so, it's not always going to be something new, but it lets you build up a roster really quick.
Arc Knights does have a lot more characters, though. I wonder if that
And it has a lot more characters. Yeah, that is very, very fair.
Maybe something in Genshin, maybe that'll be a future thing when there's, a bigger pool of characters to pull from in Genshin, but I mean, I don't know how many, I don't want to even count how many characters they have total, but it's got to be like in the 30s, I'd imagine, right? Or 20s?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Like, that's not a huge pool to have rotating in and out, but I really hope that there is something like that at some point where, you know what? What I would really like? This sounds kind of, I wish that there was like why aren't there any like Mona limited banners where you have a chance to get her with your pity? Or like, Kaching.
All those permanent 5 stars are just totally up to chance and pulling on the other banner that, isn't worth it because you can get weapons out of that one. You can ruin your chances for a new character by getting a weapon.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's just really weird. That is really weird. Aside from just the limited banners, it just seems like there should be something else. But I don't know. I would love to get a Mona banner. I want Mona.
I would love to pull for more copies of 4-star characters I like, but I'm risking precious gems for their their stupid limited 5 stars. The only things that are ever going to change the meta, but I can't build my team because I have to worry about that.
Yeah.
They kind of built the game like this, and I don't know how long it's going to take for them to have enough characters that they can do something different, but it's really frustrating, and I think that it shines a light on some of the problems that, someone who's not willing to put a ton of money into the game just for gambling.
Yeah, it's so funny, like, as we play more and more of these issues just show up. We just take notice of these things,
Yeah, they were always there, but it wasn't clear.
Yeah. That's why I think it's kind of cool that we're still doing these podcasts of Genshin, the Piecasts, because it's a cool perspective from us having played this game consistently over the past couple months. And maybe it'll provide a little enlightenment for, I don't know, I hope that the stuff that we have noticed or anything provides a little clarity for someone else.
Yeah, we've been playing since day one, and I can only imagine the struggle for a brand new player who has to accumulate all these resources and all these gems, all the gems they've missed out on.
Oh boy, yeah.
Everyone following us who isn't putting money into the gambling aspect of the game is always going to be starting at a lower footing than us.
Yeah.
And we're struggling. What does that tell you? You can't get ahead of the curve in this game.
That's honestly probably the best thesis statement of Genshin Impact currently.
Here's my insightful statement for 1.3p.
Dude, you have... Oh, okay.
And that's that I hope it's a good one. That's all I can hope.
I was about to say, you dropped that great statement and you're about to drop another one, and then it's just that. So I was kind of like, what am I going to follow up with? But now I feel a little better about it. Yeah, I hope it's a good one too. That's my statement.
Hell yeah, that's all I got.
No, yeah, 1.3. Yeah, I don't think it's going to change anything substantially for us in our view of the game. I don't think it'll do anything that major, but I'm still waiting for that Inazuma.
Yeah, this is sort of a stepping stone update. As from what little information I've heard about it, I don't expect anything major.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they add more quality of life things this time around or what, but yeah, we'll definitely be keeping our listeners updated. We'll be making a 1.3p episode coming up in
I'm really glad that's
months.
The name now.
Yeah, it is. It's the tentative
That's all
name.
I expect.
But yeah, mixed feelings about 1.2. I hope it doesn't follow the same. I hope subsequent updates, especially with new areas, don't follow the same routine of having an event tied to the exploration. Yeah, that's really all I can ask.
That's the greatest offense that this update brought with us is giving us something we wanted and then ruining it in their own special way.
Yep. So we can at least hope for that for the future. Either way, thank you very much for listening to us ramble about Genshin Impact mobile gacha game. We really appreciate everyone taking the time to stick with us on this fun, wild ride of Genshin.
Extremely fun.
Very fun. Smiling game.
I'm smiling right now.
Anyway, thank you very much. Have a happy
midnight.